and welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to understand how to create local business lead generation AI agent for marketers and agencies. So as a marketer, my objective is that whenever I'm going to add a new query over here in my Google Sheet, then automatically using API by Pabbly, that query should be sent to Dumpling AI for searching that query in my Google Maps. And here after generating the content, automatically the details should be added over here in my Google Sheets as a new row. So now here to automate the entire process, I need to connect my Google Sheets with API by Pabbly and Google Sheets again using an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. So now here to learn this process step by step, then let me all take it to my screen. Welcome to my screen. In this video, I'll show you how to create a local business lead generation AI agent that automatically finds and collects contact details of top rated restaurants from Google Maps. This is a perfect for marketers who want to save time and quickly build a list of potential clients. Alright, so as you all know that as a marketer, I often help local businesses like restaurants grow their customer base. So searching manually on Google Maps to find the best restaurants in different cities and then collecting their contact details takes a lot of time. So by creating a local business lead generation AI agent, I can automate this entire process. Alright, so here on my screen you can see my Google Sheet that I've created with the name leads, and here I've created two sheets with the name query and the details. So now here my objective is, as soon as I'm going to add a new query over here in my Google Sheet, then automatically based on the query, it should send the query to Dumpling AI for searching for that particular query in Google Maps, and then automatically the content generated should be added over here in my Google Sheet under this detailed sheet in these columns. Alright, so now here I've already built an automation where I've connected my Google Sheets with my Dumpling AI account and Google Sheets again using an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. So now firstly in this video we are going to see the working of this automation to understand the entire process more clearly. So now here to see the working of this automation, what we are going to do is that we are going to add a new query over here in our Google Sheet. So let's suppose that I am going to add the query as best hotels in Bhopal. Alright, so here I've successfully added a new query over here that says best hotels in Bhopal. And now after entering the query over here, let's go and check out another Google Sheet that we have created with the name details. And here you can see automatically the details are being added over here in our Google Sheet where we have received the query. Here you can see the name of the entire hotels available in the Bhopal. Here you can see their addresses, here you can see their phone numbers, and also here you can see the ratings, type, description, position, and also you can see the website of each hotel available over here. Alright, so with this we have successfully seen the working of this automation, and now here in this video we are going to learn step by step that how you can set up this automation by simply connecting your Google Sheets with your Dumpling AI account and Google Sheets again using an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. So here to access the Pabbly Connect, you have to search for pabbly.com/connect in your browsers and it will take you to the homepage of Pabbly Connect. So here you can see two options that are sign in and sign up free. If you're a new user, click on sign up free and get free 100 tasks every month to explore the software. And if you're an existing user, click on sign in. Here I'm an existing user, so I'm clicking on sign in. Now after signing in, here you can see all Pabbly apps window where you can see all the applications of Pabbly. Here to integrate my applications, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. Now this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, and here to build my connection I need to create a workflow first. So for that, here I'm going to click on this create workflow button given on the top right corner. Now here in this create workflow dialog box, I have to give a name to my workflow. So here I'm going to give the name as create local business lead generation AI agent for marketers and agencies. And now after giving a name to my workflow, it is asking me to select the folder. So in the left side corner of this dashboard you can see a folder section under which you can see the multiple folders that I've already created with different names to save my workflows accordingly. And now here in this particular case, I'm going to select my folder as automations. You can select the folder as per your need. Also, you can create multiple folders to save your workflows accordingly. So now here to learn how to create a new folder inside Pabbly Connect, you have to click on this learn more hyperlink given over here. And it will take you to a forum window where you can see all the instructions to how to create a new folder inside Pabbly Connect. Alright, so now let's move back to our Pabbly's dashboard. And here to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this create button given over here. Now here in this workflow window, you can see we have successfully created a workflow, and here on my screen you can see the two most important principles of an automation process, that are trigger and action. Where trigger says when this happens and action says do this, that means action is a response towards a trigger. Your automation can have a single trigger but multiple action steps. Now let's begin with our automation by simply setting up a trigger. So here I'm going to select my trigger application as Google Sheets, as I am adding new details in Google Sheets. So Google Sheets is a free web-based spreadsheet program that allows you to create, edit and share spreadsheets online. So in my Google Sheets trigger step, I'm going to select my trigger event as new or updated spreadsheet row, so that whenever I'm going to add a new detail over here in my Google Sheets, then automatically and instantly Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response, or you can say automatically this entire workflow is going to get triggered. Alright, so now after selecting my trigger event, you can see I've received a webhook URL. That means here I'm going to use this webhook URL to connect my Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect. So following the instructions given below, firstly I'm going to copy this webhook URL, and here I've already logged in my Google Sheets account. So this is the Google Sheet that I've already created with the name leads, and this is the sheet that I've created over here with the name query and details. So now here my objective is, as soon as I'm going to add a new detail over here in my Google Sheet, then I want to capture the response in Pabbly Connect. So for that I'm going to connect this Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect in order to capture the response in Pabbly Connect. So before moving forward with the connection, firstly I'm going to add a new query over here in my Google Sheet. So let me add the query, and here you can see I have successfully added a new query over here that says best hotels in Udaipur. Alright, so now after adding the query, I'm going to connect this Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect, and here to build this connection you need to install an add-on on your Google Sheets account first, and for that you need to click on this extensions, and from here you need to select add-ons, and here under add-ons you need to select get add-ons. And then here in this Google Workspace Marketplace, you have to search for an add-on, that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And then you need to install this particular add-on on your Google Sheets account in order to connect your Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect. So here you can see it is already installed in my Google Sheets account. So I'm going to move back. And once you're going to install this particular add-on, you need to follow exactly the same steps. Alright, so now after installing the add-on, you need to refresh your Google Sheets, and that's a necessary step. Alright, so now after refreshing the Google Sheets, you need to click on this extensions, and then you will be able to see the option of Pabbly Connect Webhooks over here. So from there you need to select initial setup. And here in the initial setup, it is asking me to enter the webhook URL and the trigger column. So here for the webhook URL, I'm going to enter the webhook URL that I've received in my Pabbly's workflow. And here for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be a final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row data will be sent to the webhook URL. So here you can see in my Google Sheet, my last data column is column A, where I'm adding the details. So I'm going to add my trigger column as column A, and then I'm going to click on this submit. And it says setup configured successfully. That means we have successfully set up a webhook inside our Google Sheets, and we have successfully connected our Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect. Alright, so now after building this connection, we are going to test this connection by clicking on the send test button given over here. And it says test data sent successfully. That means we have successfully sent the first row data of our Google Sheets to our webhook URL. That means to our Pabbly's workflow. Alright, so now here before moving back to our Pabbly's workflow, we are going to perform another very important step to completely connect our Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect. So for that you need to click on this extensions, and from here you need to select Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and now from here you need to turn on this send on event. So by turning it on automatically, whenever you're going to add a new detail over here in our Google Sheets, then instantly Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. Alright, so now let's go and check it, and here you can see we have received a tick in front of the send on event. That means we have successfully turned it on. Alright, so now let's move back to our Pabbly's workflow. And here you can see we have received a successful response where we have received the query and the other details of our Google Sheet. So with this, we have successfully set up our trigger over here. So now after receiving all the details from our Google Sheet, what I want is that I want to give this query to my Dumpling AI. And now here to connect my Dumpling AI account with Pabbly Connect, I am going to use a feature of Pabbly, that is API by Pabbly. So the API by Pabbly is a tool that helps connect different apps and automate tasks by allowing them to share the data with each other. So here I'm going to connect my API by Pabbly with Pabbly Connect in order to connect my Dumpling AI account with Pabbly Connect. Alright, so here for the action event, I'm going to select the event as execute API request, and then I'm going to click on this connect. Moving forward, and then here's asking me to select the action event method. So I'm going to select my action event method as custom request. You can select it as per your need. And then here's asking me for custom request method. So here for the method, I'm going to select post because here I want to send the data to be processed by the API request. So for that, I've selected the method as post, and then here's asking me to enter the API endpoint URL. So it says enter the API endpoint URL for the API request. So here to get this API endpoint URL, let me all take you to the reference document of Dumpling AI. Alright, so this is the API reference document, and from here I'm going to access data APIs. And here under data APIs, you can see search maps option over here, that is for the post method. So this is the endpoint URL of the post method. So I'm going to copy it. Moving back to Pabbly's workflow, and here I'm going to paste the API endpoint. Alright, so this is the API endpoint URL. Moving forward, and then here's asking me to select the payload type. So I'm going to select the payload type as JSON over here, and then here is asking me for the authentication. So here for the authentication type, I'm going to select the authentication as bearer token over here. And here after selecting my authentication type, it is asking me to enter the token. So here to get this token, let me all take you to my Dumpling AI account. So this is my Dumpling AI account, and from here we are going to click on this API keys given in the left side bar. And here in the API keys, I'm going to generate a new key by clicking on this create new secret key, and then I'm going to give the name to my API key, that is best restaurants. And then I'm going to create the key over here. So this is the API key generated. So I'm going to copy it. Moving back to Pabbly's workflow, and here I'm going to paste the bearer token. Now here after entering the token, it is asking me to add the parameters or set the parameters. So here I don't want to add any headers or parameters, so I'm going to leave it blank. And then here's asking me to enter the data. So I'm going to enter the data as, so this is the particular format of entering the data, and here you can get this particular format in the API documentation. So here you can see the request body data format over here. So from here I've selected the query and the language because I want to enter only both these details. So now for the query, I'm going to enter the query over here. So here instead of entering this detail manually, here I'm going to map the data. So mapping data means insert data from previous step. That means here I'm going to map the data from the response that I've received in my trigger step or my previous action steps. Mapping makes the text dynamic so that whenever we're going to receive new query through our Google Sheets, then automatically this previously existing detail will be updated with the new one. So here for the query, I'm going to map the query over here, and now here after entering all the required details, I'm going to click on the save and send as request given over here. And here you can see the response that we have received over here is different. That means we have received each hotel query and the details separately. So now here to get all these details in an array format, that means in a comma separated value, what we are going to do is that we are going to turn off this simple response button, and we are going to get this response in an advanced format. And here you can see we have successfully received a response over here where we have received the entire data in an array format. Alright, so with this we have successfully set up this action step over here. And now what we are going to do is that we are going to process this array by using another feature of Pabbly, that is iterator by Pabbly, so that we can get this value separately and one by one. So here I'm going to select another feature of Pabbly, that is iterator by Pabbly. So an iterator is a tool in programming that helps you go through items in a collection like a list or a set one by one. So here I'm going to use iterator for the same, and here I'm going to select my action event as process arrays, and then I'm going to click on this connect, and then I'm going to choose the array over here, and then I'm going to click on the save and send test request given over here. And here you can see we have received a successful response where we have received the position, that means the first position, hotel searched by Google Maps, and this is the name of the hotel, it is it. And then here we have received the address, then we have received latitude, longitude, rating count, type, website, phone number, description, CID, FID, and the place ID as well. Alright, so now here we have received the single restaurant detail, but when the automation is going to run, then automatically through the iterator it is going to extract the each hotel detail one by one, and then it is going to add the details at a particular place. So now here after getting the hotel details, what we are going to do is that we are going to add all these details in a Google Sheet that I've already created over here with the name details. So for that what we are going to do is that we are going to add another action step over here, and here in this action step I'm going to select my action application as Google Sheets, and this time I'm going to select my action event as add a new row, so that after extracting the details, automatically the details should be added over here in my Google Sheets as a new row. Alright, so now here to connect my Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect, here I'm going to click on this connect. Here to build a new connection, I'm going to select add new connection because I've connected my Google Sheets with Pabbly Connect in a trigger setup, and this time I'm going to build this connection in an action setup. Alright, so for that I'm going to add a new connection. And now here to build a new connection, I'm going to click on the sign in with Google. Here I'm going to select my desired account. And then I'm going to click on this allow and give access to Pabbly as your data is secured with Pabbly. Authorization successful. So here you can see we are now successfully connected. So moving forward. And then here is asking me to select the spreadsheet. So I've already shown you that I have my spreadsheet with the name leads. So I'm going to select my spreadsheet as leads. And then here is asking me to select the sheet. So here I've already shown you that I have my sheet with the name details where I want to add the details. So here I'm going to select the sheet as details over here. And then here is asking me to enter the query, name, address and some other details. So basically these are the fields that I've added over here in my Google Sheet. So again, instead of entering these details manually, here I'm going to map the data. So here for the query, I'm going to map the query from the response that I've received in my Google Sheet. So this is the query received. Here for the name, I'm going to map the hotel name. Moving forward, here I'm going to map the address. Here I'm going to map the phone number. Here for the rating, I'm going to map the rating over here. And then I'm going to map the type. Here I'm going to map the description. Here I'm going to map the position. And lastly, here I'm going to map the website. Alright, so now you have to enter all the required details. I'm going to click on the save and send test request given over here. And here you can see we have received a successful response. That means we have successfully added the detail over here in our Google Sheets. So let's go and check it. And here you can see we have successfully received the detail over here where we have received the query, name, address, phone number, rating, type, description, position and website. And here you can see we have received the error over here for the phone number. So here we are going to follow another process to receive a proper phone number over here. But here firstly, let me tell you that you might be thinking that we have got only the single place name over here. But here we want all the hotels in Udaipur response over here. So now what we are going to do is that whenever we're going to add a new query over here in our Google Sheet, and then whenever our workflow is going to run in a real time, then automatically we are going to receive all the details over here in our Google Sheets. So we are going to follow that process once again. But before that, what we are going to do is we are going to correct this phone number error over here. So for that, what we are going to do is that I'm going to add a single inverted comma over here. And now firstly, I'm going to delete all the details received over here in this Google Sheet. And now after adding this particular format, I'm going to click on the save and send test request. And here you can see we have received a successful response. Now let's go back to our Google Sheet. And here you can see we have successfully received all the details over here. And here we have received the exact phone number instead of error. Alright, so with this, we have successfully set up our entire automation. And now after adding all the required details, we are going to run this automation one more time for the same query, that is best hotels in Udaipur. So for that, I'm going to copy the query from here. And then I'm going to paste it over here. And now after entering the query over here, let's go and check our details sheet. And here you can see we have received the entire response over here. That means all the best hotels in the Udaipur with all the details over here. So with this, we have successfully set up our entire automation. And now here, let me summarize this whole video for you. So here we have selected trigger as Google Sheets and action as API by Pabbly, iterator by Pabbly and Google Sheets again. So that whenever we're going to add a new detail over here in our Google Sheets, then automatically using the details, it is going to send the details to Dumpling AI through API by Pabbly. And here after sending the query to Dumpling AI, automatically it is going to give the response in an array format. And after getting the array format response, automatically we are going to process the arrays through iterator by Pabbly. And here after processing the array, we are going to get each the response one by one in a proper organized format. And then simply all the details are going to be added over here in our Google Sheets as a new row. Alright, so these were the steps to how to create local business lead generation AI agent for marketers and agency. I hope these steps were clear to you. Now if you want to use the same workflow, then you can find the clone link in the description box below. I hope you liked the video. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Not only these applications, you can integrate many other applications with Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, then you can email us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any query, then you can write it at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can visit www.pabbly.com. Now, if you liked our video, then please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.